Hey yo, good morning. Derek here. Getting ready to add a couple hundred more people to these text campaigns I went through this morning and kind of reworked the stuff on the back end, the background, so that hopefully the triggers and the automation starts firing a little bit more effectively. That was kind of messed up from the first couple times I went through it. So it took a little bit of time this morning, went through it, fixed everything, so it should be good to go. If you're just joining for the first time, welcome. My name is Derek. Uh, do me a favor if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. We cover everything wholesaling real estate related on this channel, specifically virtually wholesaling real estate, as that's what I'm doing. Currently located in California, sourcing opportunity out in Houston, Texas, and linking up with cash buyers out there to assign my deals. I've done 2 deals so far. Been doing it for about a year now. Um, Looking to keep the momentum going, like I said in the description. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell if you haven't already. We look forward to having you join us on the live sessions here. I do go live, try to go live at least once a day. I've been being pretty good about that, Monday through Friday. Hop on and I do my live cold calls, live lead follow up, text campaigns. Highlight any one specific deal that I may be working in its own playlist. I have a few mini series that are pre-recorded videos on the channel as well. My driving for dollars process, how I go about doing that virtually. Um, I have a little mini series as well on comping properties, figuring out the ARV or the after repair value, and as well as the MAO or the max allowable offer using PropStream. So I have a little mini series on that as well. If you're interested in that type of content, you can go ahead and check out the channel and find that mini series. Um, and yeah, if you're just starting out and you're looking for kind of an A to Z, beginning to end type of playlist, I documented my whole first deal on YouTube. So I started the YouTube channel with that purpose, to hopefully generate a lead while you're watching me cold call and bring it all the way to the closing table after I'm getting the contract signed. So I was able to do that for my first deal. I have my own playlist on there called My First Wholesale Deal. You can go on there and check it out. And like I said, kind of watch it A to Z, beginning to end, from when I initially cold called them, or at least, when I initially had that first conversation to lock them up, and get it under contract, all the way to, having conversations with the tenant, which was his daughter in that case. Uh, I hired movers. So I hopped on the phone with some movers, had conversations with my cash buyer, had conversations with my title company, just all that. I documented it again, A to Z, and I tried my best to hop on and document it live on YouTube anytime I had a conversation pertaining to that deal. Sometimes I'd be out and I wasn't able to get on live, or sometimes they would just impromptu call me and I wasn't in front of my computer. So, but for the most part, you saw everything that you needed to in that little playlist. So go ahead and check that out if that's something that you're interested in and you're, again, new to the industry, new to wholesaling. We do have a few people that tend to join us live here, um, who are, we got a couple beginners who are just starting out, a couple people who, are getting contracts, a couple people who have been doing this for a while. So we got, all levels of experience that have been joining us here. Again, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. We'd love to have you. We'd love to, have you hop in here and join us while I go live and kind of chit chat, get any questions that you may have answered, any suggestions or recommendations that you may have for me as well. If you are experienced, I kind of open that or welcome that with open arms. So without further ado, what I'm going to do today is add a couple hundred more people to my text campaign. So after I closed my second deal, I reinvested into texting software. So I've been sending off a couple hundred every week, just trying to slow play it. I don't want to like inundate myself with opportunity that I'm not even actually able to capitalize on. But at the same time, I don't want to just like not send out any text. So been figuring it out. Like I said, I kind of had to refine my process, still working my way around the software itself, figuring out the best way to utilize it and most efficient. So I went in there this morning and I made some edits. It should work hopefully a little bit smoother. I'm sure that there will still be some kind of mishaps here and there that I need to take note of, which I plan to do. Got my notebook here, so as I go along, I'm just gonna be taking little edit notes so that I can go back in later, either tonight or later this afternoon, and make those changes, just so that it's a little bit more seamless, and so that everything is the goal in my texting. Excuse me. The goal in my texting software is just to have it all automated, all hands free, so that I only have to be engaging and having conversations with the people who are interested. The idea is to set up these automations in the background so that it can identify when people say curse words, or identify when somebody says not interested, or when somebody says stop, quit, unsubscribe, those kind of blacklisted words that everybody is kind of under the assumption that if they text somebody back using one of these words that they're going to get opted out of their campaign or their list. So I have a lot of that set up in the background. And as, like I said, as I text, I start getting more responses where it's like, oh, I should probably have that word in there too, so that, I don't have to deal with it. So it's a little bit hands on right now, but the goal is to slowly take note of how I can improve the process, so that at one point it's me just sending off a bunch of texts and then me only having to deal with the people with favorable responses. So I'm gonna pull my script out just in case I get anybody, a little bit warmer. I'm finding that people are willing to talk through text a little bit more, but doesn't necessarily mean they're qualified, right? Because they don't have to waste their time like they do on the phone. If you call somebody on the phone, they have to commit to like giving you, 5, 7 minutes to actually be able to pre-qualify them, ask them the questions that you need answered. Whereas on text, people I'm finding are more willing to like say, yeah, we can talk about the property. That's my opening question is, can we talk about it? And they'll say, yeah, we can talk about it. And then I get to asking a few more questions just to realize that, oh, this person isn't really motivated, or this person really isn't, it's not a good match. Um, so that's something that I'm having to kind of sift through as well and work on and figure out the best way to respond to people. I may even go about changing that opening question to something else, so that I don't get so many people just saying, yeah, we can talk about it, and then not really having the desire to truly talk about it. Um, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna grab a 300 people, which is on the higher end of what I usually do. I usually like 200 to, I think I've done 300 before, but I plan on having them sent out a little quicker, and I'll explain what I mean by that right now. So I'm going to grab 300, and I do apologize if you're watching this for the first time. You're not going to be able to watch what I'm doing. I'm just going to try my best to narrate as I go along. My computer, I'm just working off my little 13-inch MacBook here, and it doesn't have the processing power to be able to utilize the like streaming software. I gave it a try one time, but it couldn't keep up with the frames. It ended up just freezing up on me. So I may revisit that later, but for now, I'm just going to do it this way until I either am able to figure out how to clear my computer here so that I have enough space and enough, I guess, processing power for the streaming software, or just till I get another computer. So I'm going to grab 300 right now. I'm going to go ahead, add it to the campaign. Okay, proceed. I'm going to add it to my general 20-day campaign. They're going to get texted. They're going to get texted on the first day, as well as a ringless voicemail about 30 seconds or 3 minutes after if they don't reply to that first text. Second day, same thing. They get a text, ringless voicemail. Third day, I think they get double texted. And then after that, it starts to taper off. Like then they get texted maybe 5 days after that, and then 7 days after that, and then 10 days after that, spanning across 20 days. And that's all happening again automatically. So all I have to do is add them to the campaign right now, and then it will kind of take those time intervals and text them accordingly, as long as it falls within like a certain window that I set up, because I don't want to get, people getting texted at midnight or even later than like 8 p.m. to be honest. I think I have it cut off. I think the cutoff is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or maybe 7 p.m. One of those. I think it may be actually noon to 7. That way it's 10 to 5 my time because again I'm doing it virtually, so I am 2 hours behind. So I think it's 10 to 5 my time, which is noon to 7 their time. I think that's what it is if I remember correctly. So then I'm going to add them in drip mode. I said this before. I don't even know why they have the option to add it all at once. You pretty much always want to add it in drip mode, not even just for this platform here, but for like all platforms that does things like this, because you don't want to have the carriers flag your numbers as spam. So when you send off 100 texts all in 1 minute, the carriers are going to be like, what the hell is this? This is clearly a computer, right? The idea is to try to become it as human as possible in your automation. So there's a drip mode here in my platform that I use. It wants a description. I'm going to say 300 contact import to general 20-day campaign. Start on today at in 4 minutes, which is 10:40 or 3 minutes now. 10:45 my time, 12:45 their time. So I gotta put 12:45 since it's their time. Batch one. How did I say I was doing 300? I'll do 10 a minute. 10 a minute. Repeat. So batch quantity 10. Repeat after 1 minute, meaning that it's gonna get. How long is that gonna take? 10 minutes for run. It's gonna take 30 minutes to get to 300. And then it gives you a little window, a time window, just in case you do your math incorrectly, like I just did it. So if it's starting at 12:45, it's going to take 30 minutes. It should be done by 1:15 or 11:15 rather, my time. So I'm going to say the window should be. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And why does he think it's good? Because they just didn't settle? Let's come to an agreement. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So what happened today? They just showed up and yeah, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. That's yeah, that's pretty fairly common though. They're just gonna keep trying to push it out until your lawyer like files some type of motion for mediation or yeah, yeah. hmm hmm For mediation. Cool. Why is that? Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. They're parties to the right, right. hmm Yeah, right. And why wouldn't they? I mean, right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like I'm sorry, what you said. Oh, oh, oh. Gotcha. Yeah, you would end up walking away with less than them if you had to pay the attorney fees. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, right, right. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, yeah. That's what Jay's been saying when he gives me a call. He's I've talked to him like twice throughout this, and it is really nothing other than like him trying to get a pulse on the situation and me not really knowing anything to really tell him anyways. So it's like, but he just get. I think he sounds frustrated with his mom because nothing other than her lack of opinion. It's like he tells her like, I mean, if you feel one way about it, like make your opinion known. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Like you're saying, if she would have been like, you know what, I really don't think what you're doing is right, Kathy. I understand why you're doing it, but I think I'm gonna have to side with Mark. Then it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah, and that's why exactly. That's exactly what he's been saying to her is like, or that's what he tells me. He says to her is like yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter one way or another, like what side you're on, but you can't just like be in the stands watching it all happen. And then what happens when a resolution is met? Then you're gonna like jump on ship and be like, all right, so like what's going on again? Like and not like she would. I don't see her like taking advantage of the situation, but it's just come to that. Like I don't think anybody knew how this was going to end up, but now it's like what you're saying. It's like, okay, well, are you wanting to get paid, and or are you wanting to get your share? And they're just gonna, of course they're gonna say yes. Like right, right, yeah, 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 and he's gonna get paid, right? Yeah, or you can put a down payment, a sizable down payment on something, and he could rent easily too. I mean, like you're saying, if it comes down to him not wanting to work, which is always what it seems to be, he can take his he can take his money and he can rent something for the next 5 years off of what he gets from the proceeds. Exactly, exactly. Really, yeah. If he wants to stay in the area and not work, I mean, if he doesn't want to work, he can stay in the area and lease something for years. But then he's going to dig himself into a hole where in 5 years and he hasn't worked and now he has to start paying rent, or like you're saying, or it's just as simple as go elsewhere, buy it outright, own it free and clear, like, and put yourself in a situation that you're really in right now at Nana's house, and then just be responsible for the taxes. I knew it was going to come down to something like this because he kept postponing it. He knows it's inevitable. It's inevitable, and everybody knows it. And now he is just trying to milk it and stay in the place as long as possible. And you know, that would happen I mean, it's only somewhat similar because of the court proceedings, but that used to happen at my old job all the time. It was just we were paying somebody biweekly for their benefits, and then we'd be like, okay, like you're not hurt. We need to go to court on this. You need a judge to hear the case, and they would constantly, oh, this isn't a good time. Our schedules don't match. Can we? It's like, well, of course they don't because you're getting checks every week. And it's the same thing for him. It's like, oh, of course, this is an inconvenient time. Like, why reschedule anyways? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let's get it done then. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So weird. Yeah. Yeah. I just had the thought. I think I had the thought yesterday when we were talking. I just didn't mention it until this morning. That's so funny. Well, yeah. That's cool. I mean, that's kind of it sounds like good news, but also Yeah, yeah, exactly. At least it's being addressed, and it's not sitting in limbo like it is right now. Well, he could. The next step after mediation is arbitration, and then arbitration is where an arbitrator would, even if he goes in there and says, I really am still arguing my case. I think that this, and that. Then an arbitrator would that weigh out the facts and then make a decision for the parties. Immediate. This is something I only slightly dealt with. Exactly. Arbitration. A mediator is going to sit there and say, "Look, you guys need to talk this out." It's exactly what it sounds like. They're just a mediator. They don't really have the authority to say, "Okay, this is how it's going to happen." So a mediator is going to say, "What's going on, guys? Why this? Why that?" And then everybody's going to say, "Well, what we've been saying this whole time." And then the mediators, it's honestly, I hate to say it, but it's just a waste of time. Mediation mediation for the most part, in my experience, is just a segue to arbitration. I've never gone to mediation at my old job and actually settled. I've always just set it for mediation so that I can set it for arbitration. Because again, at mediation, it's you're giving the parties the benefit of the doubt, assuming that, okay, you guys like become level headed yet? Yes. Okay. That's the only way it's going to settle at mediation is if the parties come together and be like, if Mark goes there and is like, you know what, I really thought about it, and I think, they may bring a settlement, but or like a settlement offer. But again, at the end of the day, it's knowing how he has played this. I would assume that he's just buying time, and that is what mediation does. So you're going to go to mediation in February. He's going to buy some more time. Oh, sorry, I'm still feeling the way that I've been feeling. Let's set it for arbitration another 3 months out. You know. Yeah, yeah, but exactly. I mean, exactly. You're in the same. I always, again, at my old job, it's reassuring, like you're saying. At least it's moving in a direction, and it's not just, when something gets set, it's like, all right, cool. Now again, it may just be a stepping stone to arbitration, but at least the stepping stone is in place, and you're not having to wait on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, regardless of if it's mediation or whatever it is, something is set, and it's set after the holidays. Honestly, that's like you don't have to worry about it until next year. That's how I would feel, at least. Um, yeah, yeah. She had just let her mom know that you're planning on. I really don't think that they need to. I just wanted to obviously let them know, well, so that you don't come by surprise, and then too, if they do need to make any edits to the menu or the meals or I think this year it's going to be her father's side of the family, which is just he just has one sister and her husband, so it's Brianna's aunt and uncle. Um, I think so. I think it's going to be me, you, Brianna, her parents, both of her sisters, her sister's soon to be fiance, their dog, I believe. We will be leaving Leo at home, and then her aunt and uncle, and that may be it. I'm not sure if her grandma is planning on coming. I know that she's kind of been splitting time between her three daughters, so I'm not sure if she plans on coming. But yeah, it's looking like probably that. Yeah, we're looking forward to having you. Yeah, of course, of course. You talked to Don? Uh huh. Oh, good. Yeah. 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 Wow. That's exactly, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what you need. We talk about it over here kind of often as well. It's like that's the last thing that you want to do when you're looking for somebody to talk with is like find somebody to talk with. Right, right. You can't just show up. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They're not gonna just, yeah, toss them into the hands of somebody that without that's like anything, it's the mediation of healthcare. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Right. Oh well. Yeah, yeah. So she has the say so over there. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Sorry, y'all. That was Mom Dukes. I don't know if you've heard me say it on any of the other live videos, live streams that I've done, but I will often mention the situation that she's going through with some of my sellers when they bring up like legal issues with like what's the word I'm looking for? Ownership battles, like ownership of the property. It's popped up a few times over the past week or so where somebody is, I forget which lead it was, but somebody let me know. Um, Someone let me know. Yeah, I want to sell it, but my sister won't sign off on it, or my brother won't sign off on it. We inherited it, and we have equal share. I think it was like, yeah, the gentleman owned it with his deceased wife. The wife passed away, so her half of the ownership transferred to her two kids, which is the gentleman's stepkids. And one of the stepkids is saying, "Yeah, go ahead, sell it. I'll take a quarter of the shares, quarter of the proceeds." But then the stepson, is like not willing. But anyways, it's come up quite often. But that's what my mom is going through right now. My grandmother passed away, and there is four siblings, including my mother. My mother is taking the charge on kind of taking legal action against my uncle, her brother, because he is essentially squatting in the house. The property's owned free and clear, so he doesn't have to pay rent or a mortgage. He just has to pay the property taxes and keep the lights on, pay the utilities. But it's just a long, drawn out battle and all types of shady stuff going on. So I will try to kind of connect with sellers in that aspect because I do understand what they're going through, although it may come across like I'm lying. I'm not. Pretty familiar with the proceedings and the situation because I'm kind of going through it with my mom, although I'm not like, showing up to court. She's not either, though. All she's doing is having the conversations with her attorney, and her attorney is showing up to the court proceedings and then updating her, and then she'll update me. So she just had a hear, or rather, her attorney just had a hearing this morning, and they're finally setting it for mediation. My uncle has just been postponing it and asking it to be reset, 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 because he just wants to keep living there, and the more he can delay the proceedings, the longer he gets to stay there. So it finally got set. He tried to push it out another couple months because he was like, "Oh, the holidays," and the judge was like, "No, this needs to happen." So it got set for mediation in February. All right, now back to this. I've been going through it, and while I was on the phone, just picking out the ones that are kicking back as Twilio errors so that I can remove them. Remove me for the billionth time. All right. See, like that. I need to like remove me or just remove. If somebody's gonna text me back with the word remove in there, I can assume that they're talking about getting removed from the list. So that's something that I want to add as a trigger in the background. So that if somebody says this, it'll remove them from the campaign, add them to the DNC list, uh, add them to the DNC pipeline stage, mark the conversation as read so that I don't even have to deal with it. Like that it kind of just took me like 10, 15 seconds, but that adds up. You know what I mean? Um, so anytime I can avoid going in there and manually doing all that stuff, I want to. Leave me the fuck alone. Fuck off. Go away. Leave us alone. No one asked you to text this number. So that one did get picked up. My name ain't Kelly. Oh, I'm sorry. I have the wrong name here. Do you own this property on Fernbank Drive? No, I got like 3 to 5 no's while I was on the phone, just kind of marking them not interested. I may not put no as one of the trigger words, but I may put not interested, the phrase, just because somebody may say no to something else. You know what I mean? I think no is a little too general. And I don't want people just being removed just because they said no, the word no. But in this case, they are not interested. Go through these, make sure there's no errors. This is something that I don't. Okay, so this is just the wrong number. You gotta roll. I asked. Oh, I'm sorry. I might have the wrong name here. Do you own this property on Fernbank Drive? No. So I'm gonna put wrong number. This is the edits that I made this morning. The wrong number edits. I used to have a bunch of stuff happen when I tagged it wrong number. Sorry, the train's going by. Where it would replace it with the second phone number in line. It would do all types of stuff, add it to a second duplicate campaign. Because when I uploaded the list, I was uploading it with more than one number. But that just made everything screwy. To be honest, I was recommended to not even do that. I was told by their support on my onboarding call to only import one number at a time. I thought I was being creative and cool by figuring out a way to add them with more than one number, but then it ended up just messing everything up. So kind of took a step back on that approach, uploaded my new list with only one mobile number, and fixed all my triggers and my automations on the back end. Now, when I tag a wrong number, it's just going to add it to the wrong number pipeline stage, which marks the opportunity as lost. And it removes them from the campaign anytime anybody replies. You have the option to remove them or not, but I remove them. So if anybody ever replies to any one of my campaigns, they get removed from the automation, meaning that they're not going to get continually followed up with. And I want to do that just in case I miss them saying like no or yes, like, hey, have you considered an offer on your property? Like, no, then I don't want them to continue getting texted, "Hey, I followed up with you yesterday." That's what my next text would say. Or if they say yes, I don't want them to continue getting followed up with. If they reply, I want to manually give them a response, unless it's some type of a reply that can be picked up on by the software itself, so that I don't have to see it, like all the curse words. Jeez, this place. I have, and then what I do as well. So for everything that's kicking back as a Twilio error, meaning that like, sorry, I just saw this. So it'll if a message is sent is not delivered to the end service and returns a 30,005 error code, this means that delivery of your message failed due to an unknown or inactive destination number. For example, that number is no longer in service. So that's like one of the errors. Another one is a landline error. Another one is like the phone is off and not receiving messages, or it's like doesn't have signal. There's just a number of error codes that it'll kick back, and I take those and I push them to a pipeline stage that I've created that's labeled push to cold call. So just because I can't text the phone number doesn't mean I can't call it. So anybody who either somebody who kicks back as a Twilio error, somebody who somebody who has gone through the whole 20-day campaign and not responded, both of those cases, they get added to this list essentially of people who are, again, either not responded or kicked back as an error, so that I can then take that list from my texting software and then bring it over to my dialer so that I can give it a call. So my initial, I haven't seen this guy. Hi, Charles. Have you given any thought to parting ways with this property, this address? Can we talk about it? I give it so much thought, it's gone. I'm gonna say, haha. Congratulations. Would you happen to have any others you'd be interested in selling at the moment? I have a template for this as well. That's something else that you're going to want to do in texting, is like create little quick replies so that you're not having to type out every single response to common responses. So he essentially said it's already sold. I do have a response for that, but I wanted to add that little haha congratulations in there, just so that he knows that I'm like reading what he's saying and I'm responding to him personally, and I'm not just giving him some canned response. But essentially my template is just that. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it is just that. My template for already sold says, oh, okay, would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in receiving an offer on? Which is essentially exactly what I just said, but I just customized it a little bit. And I've tried to type out like haha congratulations and then go to the template and add it, but what it does is just it gets rid of the whatever I've texted in the box already, so I can't like do both. Again, I'm just kind of going through every single individual text because I don't have the luxury of allowing these messages to be sent out to people who aren't receiving them, because it's costing me money. What's that? I'm leaving. Sure. My mom had her court thing today, and my uncle showed up and tried to get it postponed again. It was like, the judge was like, "Why do you need it to be postponed again?" They tried to argue like Well, it's just with the holidays coming up, all this and that, and the judge is like, no. So,
So
so
they had a hearing right there.
what's that?
So they had the hearing right there.
No, so now they set it for mediation, which isn't until February. But my mom's just like indifferent about it. She's like, whatever, as long as it's moving forward. Why do I have to part with it? Yeah. It's not pointed close to you by any means. Why do I have to part with it? I'm not gonna bother. Not interested. That's something else that I've kind of been going back and forth about, and just trying to figure out the best way is determining who even deserves a response. Uh, because if you were here yesterday and watched the guy who was like, yeah, we can talk about it, but he owned 40 properties and in all likelihood was never going to sell at a price that I needed him to be at. And you'll get that too when you're cold calling, when you're hopping on the dialer and people are willing to talk to you, but it's on you to kind of determine whether or not they're just wanting to talk to somebody or if they're truly motivated to sell their property. It's a little bit, I'm finding it a little bit more difficult to determine through text. So it's like I still kind of want to push people to the phone and get them on the phone to figure that out. But I would like to avoid doing that if at all possible, because it's just going to be a waste of my time to get on the phone with them just to figure it out. So like yesterday, I tried to shoot him just like a couple more follow-up texts to pre-qualify him, and he ended up like not giving me the responses that I was like, doesn't need any repairs, and he said it's been renovated 2 years ago. And I said, okay, what's your asking price, or do you have a price in mind? He stopped texting. Only reason I asked that was because I was just trying to get to the point to determine if he was truly motivated. I'll see you. Have fun. Oops. God, this little fucking fly. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. That's bothersome. What's up? I don't know who's in here, but what's going on? Texting some folks right now. Texting some folks. Just added 300 new people to the campaign, so those 300 texts and 300 voicemail drops are going out as we speak. As we speak. Some replies in here too. Rolf. What a name. All right, I'm getting some responses. I can't see them on my computer. Nope. If you give me 500K that we can talk. Already sold. No, I gave it so much thought it's gone. No thanks. No, no, no. No one asked you to text this number. Leave us alone. Moving for the billionth time. 500K seems to be the price for everybody today. Fernand. That's kind of funny. 2 people have texted back saying, yeah, 500K. And just so you know, if you're watching this, the properties aren't going for anywhere near that. I think that, I don't know what area these are in, but they're not going for 500K. That's for damn sure. I'll take a look just in case, but I'd imagine max these properties' estimates are like 300, meaning that ARV max on any of these could probably be like 350. So this guy, quick text back, saying already sold. I'm going to give him the template, send SMS, templates. I'm going to go to my already sold template. Oh, okay. This is what it says. Oh, okay. I'm going to change. I can go through and change these later too, but oh, okay. Would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? With that, just in case. Fernando, if you give me, okay, let's take a look at this guy's estimate, see what the values are looking like. If you give me 500K, then we can talk, he says. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Every morning that goes off. There's a little like auto body shop right on the other side of our apartment complex on the main road there. And every day they honk their horn, which is like an animated like do 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 every day without fail. If you give me 500K, then we can talk. Pushing him to Zestimate or Zillow rather. His estimate is 229. Oh. Man, I just ripped open the fucking roof of my mouth right now. So I'm tagging that person not only not interested, but I'm tagging them high asking price so that I know at any given time in the future when I go through and I'm going through my not interesteds, I can differentiate between the people who said no and the people who said, yeah, give me $1 million. Not sure why I even want to be able to differentiate between the two, but just for the sake of organization. And the only reason I tag that person not interested as well, and not just not high asking prices, because I want them to go to the not interested list that I have in here. Because I don't want to create their own list like high asking price. I guess I could, but I think it's silly. To me, they're just not interested. This gentleman does not have any other properties. I'm going to mark him as already sold. That way, they're, in this case, it's appropriate to put them in their own list because I will call or I will market to the not interested people at one point in time again in the future. But I do not want to market to people who have already sold the property that I'm inquiring about, which is why I have created a separate list that is already sold, listed on the MLS, or lost, meaning like I got beat out by a competitor. Somebody made a higher offer and they bought the property, not me. So I guess it's technically already sold as well. But again, just for the sake of differentiating, so that I can see how many deals I'm actually losing out on because I'm being beat out by competition. Y'all don't drink your coffee like this? You should. Studies show that caffeine is going straight to the bloodstream when you hold your coffee mug like this. So this should have. I'll be doing this sometimes too. I'll come in here and I'll just make sure that the automation is working like it's supposed to, and it really doesn't half the time. I'm sure it's something that I'm doing wrong, but I don't know. There's just it's pretty robust, this software here, and I think it's finding that it's pretty easy to mess it up. No, we'll have 3. Already sold. Oh, okay. Would you happen to have any other property be interested in selling at the moment? No, we'll have three more next year. Okay. I'll say, all right, great. I'd love to stay in touch and get touch I'd love to stay in touch and get you an offer on any of those if it. I'd love to. All right, great. I'd love to stay in touch and get you an offer on any of those. Uh, when is a when is an appropriate time for me to follow back up with you? So that's a little follow up right there. Just sold one, and he has three more that he's going to look to sell next year. And he told me that because he said, I've already sold the one that you're asking about. And I said, oh, okay, cool. Congratulations. Uh, would you happen to have any other properties you'd be interested in selling at the moment? That's what I ask in my question. And he says, no, but I will have three next year. So now I'm asking, cool, I'd love to stay in touch, get you an offer on any of those. When is a more appropriate time for me to follow up with you about those? Because you're saying next year. When do you recommend that I follow up? So I think that's all of them, all 300. Let me go through my unreads. Just hello, just rented it last week, not selling it for a few years. Says Kevin. Ah, okay, got it. Would you happen to have any other property aside from this one that you'd be interested in selling at the moment? Don't need to talk much about it. If you want to pay me 500K for the place as is with absolutely no inspection whatsoever, you can have the place. Okay. Wow, what a great lead. Let's see this estimate just for kicks. I'm guessing it's 175. Oh, 270. Yeah, see, these properties are on the higher end. It's a shack, though. Talking about 500,000. Fuck out of here. Tripping. So, again, tag this person. High asking price. Not interested. Save it. They should get added to the not interested list, which they did. Boom, boom, boom. Come back over here. Make sure. Okay, so. No, yeah. Even if this guy doesn't text me back when I ask when's an appropriate time for me to follow up, I'm going to mark him as tag him as follow up, which will then put him into the follow up list. And then what I want to do is set myself a task on this one specifically. Follow up, gauge interest, and determine timeline for his other properties. Timeline to sell. I'm just gonna follow up with him. I'm following up with like so many people the first week of January. I'm not playing, honestly. Call him around 11 a.m. Like I have so many follow-ups the first week of January, second week of January. Now it should have done what I said and brought it over to the follow-up list, but it's not. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come into triggers, see tag added. Maybe I haven't set this up yet. I guess I haven't. So that's what I'm gonna do. Add trigger, trigger name, tag added, follow up. Put that under this folder. Now, if anybody has used what's Zapier, you'll know what I'm doing here. Essentially, what these triggers are just a bunch of if then statements. If this happens, then I want the system to do this. So in this case, what should trigger this rule? What is the if? If I add a contact tag follow up, if I add the tag follow up to any contact, then I want the opportunity to be uploaded in my main pipeline to move to the future follow up pipeline stage. The lead select status with an open status, allow opportunity to move to any previous stage in pipeline, allow duplicate opportunities. But I don't only want that to be the case. If I tag it follow up, I also want to remove the tag replied because that will be on there. If I'm ever tagging somebody as follow up, it means that they've replied to me to some degree, and I have thought it was appropriate to set myself a follow up to follow up with them. So there will be a reply tag which gets added to the contact automatically when they reply to any of my texts. So I want to remove that tag. I also want to what else do I want to do? I want to I think that's essentially it. I don't do I want to yeah, I might as well remove them from all campaigns just in case that they haven't been already, but I think they will have been because they would have uh no, I'm not going to do that just in case. I don't know. They would have gotten removed already once they replied. So just in case I put them into another campaign and I want to tag them follow up for whatever reason, but I still want them to be getting texted on the campaign. Uh and then yeah, I think that should yeah, that's it. I think that's good. Just remove the tag replied and add them to the feature follow up stage. I'll save that, come back over to my conversations. Um, so let's try this guy. So he said, hello, just rented it last week, not selling it for a few years. So I'll tag him as follow up. Um, I just want to do this just kind of as a little trial run. Maybe will follow up with this guy in a few years. I don't know. I'll follow with him in like 6 months. Although he just rented it last week, probably like I'll follow up with him in like 9 months. Um, so I just tagged him follow up. Again, what it should be doing is removing the reply tag and then adding them to the follow up lists in my pipeline, or rather the follow up pipeline stage. But it doesn't look like it's doing that. Drinking cold ass coffee at this point. Yeah, it still didn't do it. It's so weird. Literally just set it. Oh, maybe I didn't turn it on. You gotta activate it. Yeah, it was still in draft. So let me activate that, come back over and see if it did it retroactively. No, didn't do it retroactively, but that's all right. Pretty confident that it will do that moving forward. Let me remove the replied, change the opportunity to future follow-up, update it, set myself a future follow-up task. like I said, probably 9 months. I'll follow up with them in like August of next year. Follow up. How is tenant situation? Any interest in selling? Yeah, like midway through August. PM. It's good. This guy, like I said, this is the guy who has 3 more next year. I'm gonna remove the follow-up tag and then put it in one more time just to see if it's gonna do it. If I add the tag follow-up, what it should do again is remove the reply tag and move it from the replied pipeline stage to the follow-up pipeline stage. So the reply tag was removed. I don't see that it's moved to the pipeline stage yet though. Huh. Huh. Man, what the Oh, it's because when the reply tag gets removed, I think that's what it is. When the reply tag gets removed, it removes the opportunity from the pipeline. So that's what I'm going to come in here. I just saw that earlier today too. Um, reply tag removed. I'm just going to delete this whole thing. Hopefully that fixes it. Well, it added to the feature follow-up. So cool. All right. Well, I got through all of them. Nothing too hot. Shit, should I send out some? No, I need to get on the dialer. That's gonna be best use of my time uh and cheapest. I'm just blowing money by texting through them like that. But I did hit my goal of 500 outgoing texts on the week. Um, yeah, looking good so far on the week in terms of marketing efforts. Not so much in terms of leads being generated or offers or anything like that. I had a strong week last week with the amount of offers. I made pretty much like a quality offer every day last week, Monday through Friday. Um, that's what I'm trying to get in the habit of, at least just sending offers out. So, damn, I really tore my mouth up. But anyways, nothing crazy here. Nothing crazy here at all today. Hopefully it was at least a little bit of a learning experience based on what I'm saying and how to ensure that you're utilizing your time most efficiently and effectively. Because I don't want to say that a lot of people would do this, but some of these responses that I got, I could see some people who may not like understand that concept of not wasting your time. I could see some of these responses, soliciting a full conversation from maybe an inexperienced wholesaler or an inexperienced investor. Like, I don't know, the guy who says that he has 3 properties that he's willing to sell next year. I could see somebody like going crazy about that, really looking at that like, oh my gosh, he has 3 properties that he's gonna want. But to me, I kind of see what it is, and it's him telling me that he's not wanting to think about it at all. He's planting the seed in me, saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna sell 3 more next year. Follow up with me or whatever." I wish you would have texted me back so that we can solidify a time in which I'll follow up with him. But maybe he will. Maybe he'll text me back. That's also the kind of the gift and the curse of text is it allows you the gift is that it allows you time to really formulate a response on your end, but the curse is that they get time to form their response on their end as well, and you don't really get the opportunity to um, kind of like pluck on their pain strings, if that's a thing. um, you know what I mean, like you would on the phone. If somebody is telling you why they're motivated on the phone, you'll be able to dig that out and you'll be able to kind of use that and use it as leverage in negotiation. Whereas through text, they have the ability to just not tell you why they want to sell. So it's much harder to uncover the motivation through text. And it's just a lot more transactional when you're texting because they have the ability to sit back and tell you exactly what they want and the ability to withhold any information that they want to exclude or not share with you. So it can go both ways, right? But I like it. I like it for the fact that I am generating some leads here, and it's very cheap, and it's automated. It's happening in the background. I'll wake up some mornings and I'll wake up to text. Granted, they're like, no, not interested, but it's just the more marketing I get out, the more no's I get, the closer I'm going to get to the yes. So it's just reassuring that like marketing is happening in the background without my manual labor. You know what I mean? I'll be driving around in the afternoons after I've kind of stepped away from work for the day, and I'll get texts, no, not interested, not interested, not interested. And again, it's like, and I'm making it sound like I'm only getting not interested. I have generated some leads. I've been driving around, stepped away from my computer, and somebody's texting me like, "Yeah, we've thought about selling." You know what I mean? So I've definitely generated some leads. I've made some offers from leads that I've generated through texting. Um, so yeah, I've only yeah, so it's worth it. Uh, it's even worth it to me. I'm comfortable saying that it's worth it to me, even though I haven't closed the deal through text or even gotten a contract through text. I can see that leads are able to be generated through this system. So, gonna stick to it, and now it's just all about consistency and upping the numbers. How many texts can I really get out per day, per week? How many, off of those texts? How many people are replying? How many people are leads? How many offers am I making? So I just need to increase the numbers, and I might even do that right now. I might even just, since it's already slowed down, I might just finish off this list and send off like another 60 some texts right now. Um, but I probably am not going to do that. What I'm going to do is end this stream, take a few minutes, wash my dishes real quick, hop back on maybe 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to hop on the dialer. I'm going to assess whether or not I'm going to do cold calling or lead follow up. I think I have a number of follow ups that I could contact to maybe create some good conversations out of there. So I might just do that. And since it's my goal to get one contract this week, I'm only going to get that through either follow up or cold calling a really, really hot lead. So I think I have a better chance of converting somebody who I've already spoken with through a follow up. So that's probably what I'll do. Appreciate you guys. Anybody who hopped in live or anybody who's watching after the fact, I appreciate you. If you haven't already, please do hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Again, we cover all things wholesaling real estate on the channel here, specifically virtually wholesaling real estate, if that's something that you're interested in. Um, and we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you join us live here. Typically, again, I go live Monday through Friday, at least once a day. Like today, I'm going to go live twice around the same time, around midday. So we'd love to have you. We'd love to hear your input. We'd love to hear your questions, your suggestions, your recommendations, all of that. We'd love to have you. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, peace.